Thank you very much giving this opportunity to present a piece of information on the following slides on leveraging community-based and non-conventional approaches to deliver and sustain education during COVID-19 pandemic in Ethiopia, particularly in Benishangul Gumuz and Gambela regions, where a number of refugees relocated. And as you see in this picture, I would like to show that where the refugees are relocated in Ethiopia, but I am concentrating on the refugee setups in Gambela and Benishangul found in the western part of Ethiopia. So the project is the 2 years project, which was launched during 2018. So UNICEF is the donor of this project, aiming to support the refugee inclusive education system in Gambela and Benishangul Gumuz regions. In this project, we are able to reach more than 21,000 children during COVID as well as currently. In COVID-19 has an impact on the education sector as well in different sectors. As a result of this impact, schools were closed for about 8 months. Because of this closure, 26 million children were out of school throughout the country. And the Ministry of Education, seeing these things and look the opportunity to reopen the schools using different modalities. The modalities are the shift system, as well as getting children for 3 days instead of 5 days per week. Of course, the protocol that is set in the guideline limits the number of students or children in a given classroom, minimized up to 25 per classroom, so that we can keep the protocol of the Ministry of Health. As you see in the picture, the COVID-19 brings an impact by closing, as well as even after the reopening of the classes also affected by the crisis, because it requires a number of classrooms and infrastructure to afford for all school-age children at the same time. How this strategy, this motivation come to in mind in the community structures. You know, the Ministry of Education introduces the distance learning modalities since the school closed because of this pandemic. The pandemic affects the in-class learning. Therefore, the ministry introduces the distance learning and home learning throughout the country. But this home learning and distance learning could not allow equally for the local community and the refugees, because it needs ICT devices and energy like electricity, which is not available in the refugee camps. And at the same time, the situation, slow down the operation of these international NGOs, including even Plan International. So Plan International and the refugee representatives sit together and discuss how to cope up this distance education with the local children. And this initiative can be seen in two different categories. The first one is the implementer, the other is the informal community-based learning hubs. The implementer, Plan International, provides the radios, solar-powered radios around 6,000 and up, together with USBs that has the contents to be broadcasted through these radios, and as well as teachers are preparing handouts and worksheets for especially for grade 5 and 8, and then this distributed to home-to-home basis by the support of PTS and mother groups as well. The government also contributes more. And when we see the informal community-based learning hubs in this initiative, uh, they are, especially the mother groups, PTs, support teachers by distributing these learning materials and technological devices so that the students can easily, have an opportunity to continue distance and home learnings. And reading ambassadors also contribute to the capacity or the skill of reading and writing skills for both ECCD and primary school students as well. Uh, when we see the role of the formal and informal structure on this intervention, the formal school-based structures support teachers and other school communities by, distributing these radios and other learning materials, and as well as mobilizing the community to give children the opportunity to use these learning materials and radios so that they can, continue their education. The informal one, which is very important, they mobilize the community, especially the mother groups mobilize the community in order to, increase the participation of girls in this initiative, because girls are expected to do some work at home instead of on the expense of boys. Therefore, these mother groups support the community to give equal chance for girls as well. And the voluntaries support children's learning by providing reading materials and by themselves read materials which are written by local languages, which the ECCD children um, can easily, learn writing and reading those materials. And let us see what the community and the school contributes to during COVID-19 in the following slides. In this slide, as you see, there are different actors. There are the school, community, the reading ambassadors, PTS, and mother groups has their own contribution for distance learning. The school, the teachers prepare handouts, and these handouts distributed through PTS and mother groups, and this initiative backed by the reading ambassadors by providing learning materials and reading materials at the reading centers which are established at the churches and the Kabale offices and volunteer homes as well. And when we see the contribution of how these modalities were implemented or supported by these different actors, like, for example, the mother groups and the parent-teacher associations provide support for distance learning by intensified with the school closure. At that time, they distribute materials, they mobilize the community, they support home-to-home distance learning. And the mother groups work with the teachers to facilitate the distribution of worksheets for grade 5 to 8 children, and the mother group is supporting distribution of ICT devices for distance learning, and the reading learning ambassadors also provide materials for reading, and they read cultural books, stories for ECCD children at the reading centers, just at homes. And then we have done a lot with the community structures. Then what is we have got from this? It enables us the smooth transition from the school closure to the reopening, and the other is we reach 21,000 and above children in both regions that they able to learn during the pandemic, as well as returned back to school as the guidance by the Ministry of Education. They promoted to the second class level and continue their education. The other outcome is it reinforces and increases the understanding of the community how much important education for their children, and increases the involvement or the participation of community, as well as it enhances the resilience of the community structures while an education crisis come up to the community. On this, we have reached 41% from Benishangul Gums and 59% of the share from Gambia. Then what we have learned and what takeaways from this initiative. As you see, the mother in this picture, the mothers are and the volunteers are, providing learning for children in their own premises. So the first thing is utilizing the local capacity in Delhi, which was ignored before. And the other is the mechanism that continuous education in the time of crisis. Education can be continued using these community-based structures, and it builds community resilience. And if we invest more on these cost-effective structures, we can bring a lot of changes on the quality access of children's learning, especially girls' participation. And finally, this is a cost-effective. They are working voluntarily. However, if the global community invests more time and money on this, we can achieve a lot. So finally, I would like to, inquire for the global community, to invest on the infrastructures, because currently we are losing a lot of students because of lack of infrastructure, because of the COVID-19. And finally, I would like to acknowledge the support provided by the government, UNICEF, ARA, in collaboration with European Union and Bureau of Population, Refugee and Migration. Thank you very much.